What's up, everybody? Sapphire here, bringing you another Starcast. Just want to say sorry about the delay getting stuff up on the channel. Like everybody, we have been playing the game, so well, all those who aren't having those kind of troubles, and we're bringing you a special game now between Pinder, who is a very high-profile Australian player, has done so well in Trans-Tasman and the Global Gamers and a bunch of tournaments in beta, and this game was actually embargoed because of the chat. And you can see Artos is spectating, talking to Pinder and Idra, and Pinder is a high-level Protoss player, and he's playing Idra, who needs no introduction, having won the King of the Beta and won a bunch of stuff during beta and being one of the best gamers in the world. But something special, Idra is playing Terran. Now, Idra is a world-renowned zerg, and he's playing Terran just for a humour value here, so we've got a bit of an interesting game. This is from beta, and it was embargoed because of this chat. They do talk about tournaments that were still going on in beta and weren't cast yet in beta, so that's why I wasn't able to bring it to you before now. And unfortunately, Dreadbane isn't joining us because he can't make it for this one, so this is a solo cast, but I've been wanting to cast this game for ages and ages. I have no idea what happens, but Pinder assures me it's entertaining. And yeah, just as you can see, there's that spoiler chat going on now. This is why we couldn't cast that game. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what Idra's going to do when he spawns as Terran. And yeah, so far it looks pretty standard opening from Pinder. He's just throwing up a reasonably standard gateway, going into gas, probably going to go for fast cybernetics core. Meanwhile, Idra not walling in with Terran, which is a bit interesting. I would have thought that, you know, having been a Zerg player and smashed her head against countless Terran walls in at these ramps, that Idra would wall in, but no. So I've never seen Idra play Terran before, and I am curious as hell to find out what he's going to do and what this game is going to entail. And also, you would have to think that the advantage is in Pinder's court, because he is a Protoss player, and he is a high-level Protoss player, and one of the best Protossers from Australia. So he's all known to these guys, that's why it's a friendly, and they're all just talking lots of crap right now. But yeah, just scout going on now, just getting some information here for Pinder, while Idra throws down a tech lab, but Pinder's going to see it. I wouldn't expect a Reaper, just considering it's been scouted and the timing of this is a little bit delayed. But Idra not even walling off of those supply depots, just going for the tight economy. He does save that time that would normally be spent sending workers to your ramp there, so he saves a little bit of time. I'm not sure whether he's going to save up for initial Marauder here. He is throwing up a Ghost Academy really far back to at the other side of his base, while he puts a Marine at the ramp to scout deny, so we're going to see some fast ghost harassment. Meanwhile, second gateway going down for Pinder while he brings online this Stalker, so looks like we may find a ghost. It'll just be interesting to find out how much harassment he's going to be able to do with that. Of course, getting fast ghosts, even if the harassment isn't good, gives you really good unit makeup for fighting Protoss, because you can get EMP online. So Idra is throwing up a bunker, so he does expect some kind of timing attack at some point. But yeah, we are seeing Idra scout now. He's just picking up all this information, and yeah, he does see the 2 gate and the Cygor, so he's picking up everything at this point. Looks pretty standard from Pinder at this point. He's just going Stalkers. He really should have denied that scout as much as possible, but now we're seeing the ramp pylon go up, so it's possible that he can transition to a forge and throw down possibly one cannon, as well as pick up information. I do like the positioning of this pylon, but it's a little bit risky. I mean, if you get Terran units and you get a little bit of sight range from a scan, or just even a scouting SCV, they can take that out almost for free. But I'm really excited to see how this ghost harass is going to go for Idra. We don't see any ghosts on the field yet. The first ghost is being produced now, so we are seeing those 2 ghosts queued up. Haven't seen cloak research going on, but he's probably not going to be able to afford it yet. So we're going to see how quickly he goes engages with this ghost. It looks like he is just going to defend up at his ramp, so looking for some kind of composition rush here. But I would have thought the ghost might go into harass already, but maybe he's going to wait to get cloak online, which is not being researched. So, and he is queuing up these ghosts and another marine, so he's not really saving up for that cloak research just yet. Meanwhile, they continue to just talk and talk and talk. I'm sure that's just as distracting for you guys as it is for me. But we're seeing that factory finally go online while Pinder is pushing out with these Stalkers, but that barracks is really going to deny it. He will have seen the ghost though when he came up slightly up this ramp, so how he's going to react to that will be interesting. He'll need to get a robotics bay online and counter it that way to get an observer online once that cloak research does go down. But so far it looks like Pinder is... yeah, this chat is really, really distracting. But yeah, no, it looks pretty standard at this point. And we're seeing a starport, so possibly even into a ghost drop here, which I'd love to see. I really, really hope this is not ghost harassment and we are seeing nukes eventually come online. A nuke rush would just be absolutely fantastic, especially if he catches Pinder a little bit unawares with it. That would just be absolutely fantastic. But so far, looks like Pinder's just keen just to back off, macro up, get his expansion online. He does have these sentries, which I like for the composition here, so that if Idra does push out with a heavy marine build like he's got right now, he can sort of block off a choke. But I'm just flabbergasted by this build by Idra here. I'm not quite sure what he's going for and how he's going to do it. I think he's just mucking around and having fun. But he does have a decent composition. It's just that no medevacs online yet. First medevac being produced now, and combat shield coming down. So we will see a lot of marines. And once this medevac comes out, I would imagine that he's going to try and do some kind of drop, but Pinder's on top of it with units in his base, so it's not going to be too effective, and still no cloak research. So at this point, another medevac going down, so it looks like some kind of mass marine build with the tech lab still producing marines, no marauders or anything, and that bunker's been salvaged. Very aggressive from Idra, and it helps him recoup some of his losses, so I like that, as well as an expansion going down for Idra, looking to expand here. He isn't going for the drop. Looks like he might just secure his expansion and play very, very passively. Both players are playing so passively at the moment. Pinder, however, has got a bit of a force built up, so you'd think he could push out, and considering making a push with that. But so far, he's getting his observer online, so now he's going to see exactly what's going on and see this lethal Ghost Academy, especially once he gets EMP going and a few more ghosts into the mixture. He'll be in pretty good shape. Just looking at the unit count right now, 31 SCVs for Idra, whereas 45 probes for Pinder. So yeah, no, at this point, really curious as to how this marine ball is going to play out. I would have expected a drop, but it looks like he's just going to strong point here at the Zelnaga Tower while this chat just continues to rage. And no, we are seeing Pinder move out to the Zelnaga as well, so both players, without realizing it, have done the exact same thing. Built up a reasonably sized timing attack, pushed out to the towers, just trying to get a feel for things, not being aggressive at all. Idra taking his expansion, being very, very passive at this point. No stim on these marines, so you'd expect he's going to wait for this stim to kick in. He is getting siege tank research, so he can transition into metal a little bit, and has a lot of medevacs now, 3 of them online, but he really needs the stim pack research to finish before he can really think about engaging here. It's just unfortunate for Pinder that he doesn't have access to this production tab, otherwise he would know that stim pack is not online for this mass marine ball, because they'd be so vulnerable until that stim's finished. But it's almost done now, so that should bring online. We are seeing Templar archives go up for Pinder, so he can transition in possibly into High Templars here, while he's just continuing to produce these tier 1 gateway units. He has a huge army, but he hasn't been very aggressive with it. And now stim pack is online and 2 siege tanks are out, and they both have siege modes. So this is unfortunate for Pinder timing wise, because Idra is in a really strong position now, especially if he goes out slowly. But Pinder sees it, sees them siege up, scan going off very nicely by Idra. Even though he's not a Terran player, that's just such good awareness there, realizing that there was an observer there by watching his army and seeing the little cloak go across there. So even though the observer is a cloaked unit, if you look, you can actually see them scoot across the map, and you see that little invisible unit sneaking across after your army. So good awareness there by Idra, as you'd expect from a player of his caliber. Judging by this Terran build, I mean, he's in pretty good shape, but he's not aggressive with it at all, playing a little bit uncertain, so which is not like the Idra we know and love. And yeah, kind of what I'd expect from Idra as Terran. He is macroing a fair bit here. You wouldn't normally see Terran take